Now, the honest truth about government today, or about the United Kingdom today, I'm afraid it's also true about the United States, but it's even more true about many of our European friends. We're broke, right? We are absolutely broke. We're 100% in debt. This is not a sustainable way to live. Now, we're going to have a very simple choice. Either we choose to cut, or the markets will choose what to cut. I'd rather we were sovereign and we chose.
So
the only party that's beginning to talk about it, and I thought Kemi's speech at the conference was rather good, actually, where she, for the first time, spoke about the fact that we can't afford this anymore. And she started to set out, it was early days, it's 4 years till the next election, she set out the fact that tax is a problem. And this is why I welcome very much that she started with stamp duty, because stamp duty is an obstacle not just to house sales. Of course, it's an obstacle to house sales, right? All taxes deter the activity that they're put upon, right? You tax cigarettes to stop people smoking, you tax booze to stop people drinking, you tax house sales, guess what you do? You stop people trading houses. But it doesn't just do that. What it does is it freezes people in place. So it makes it much harder for the rest of the economy to adapt and so on. So I think what she's doing, and I think she's doing absolutely the right thing, is unpicking those obstacles. And that's exactly what Margaret Thatcher did, by the way. It's exactly what innovative leaders do. They look at the obstacles and they address it pragmatically. Because you can be completely sort of, we're going to do this no matter what. Or you can be genuinely political in a good way and look at how do you bring a coalition together to solve the problems you face. And, look at the problems that we do face. We've got young people going to the Emirates, going to Australia, going to Italy, going to Portugal, rather than paying taxes in the UK, because the tax levels are so high. That is deeply unhealthy.
yeah.
We need to make sure that young people have a stake in this society. At the moment, they don't get a house. They're lucky if they're in a stable enough position to have a family by the time they're 30. This is insane. This is the road to ruin. What we need to do is turn that around. Now, I think Kemi started that process, but there's a lot further to go.
All right. I was going to say, hey, Tom, can the Tories come back?
Yeah, we're going to win the next election.
You're going to win the next election?
Yes, I think we are.
Would that be in roughly 3 years or 2 years? What do you think?
I reckon, look, I'll tell you why I think we're going to win the next election. This
Go
isn't
ahead.
a joke, by the way. I'll tell you why we think we're going to win the next election. If we play this right, which we should, what we're going to do over the next year to 2 years is we're going to set out incrementally the economic answers that this country needs. Now, Kemi started with stamp duty. I don't know what she's going to do next. I haven't spoken to her about it, but my guess is there's going to be something on inheritance tax, there's going to be something else on capital gains tax, and so on, right? She's going to set out those things. Yes, she's also going to set out some of the welfare questions. And right now,
She's going to what?
set out some of the welfare questions.
Okay.
Now, by the way, I am entirely speaking without having spoken to her. So this is my interpretation. So when she says, no, that's not what I'm going to do, it's my bad, not hers. But she's also going to have to answer some of the welfare questions. Why is it okay that we've got triple the number of young people on sickness benefits? Completely insane. You've taken fit and healthy young people and turned them into slaves of the state. How is that good for them, let alone for the rest of us, right? It's not. So she's going to have to answer, how do we tax less, but also how do we liberate more? Now, both of those questions she's going to be setting out. And I tell you what, over the next 12 months, they're going to be really unpopular. Over the next 12 months, people will go, oh, you're so mean, you're so horrible, oh, God, evil, nasty Tories, isn't it terrible? Isn't it awful? Such nasty people. And then what's going to happen? In about 12 to 24 months, the economy will start to falter. And the promises that will come out of the mouths of people in other parties will be, I'll spend more, I'll give you more, I'll nationalise more, I'll welfare more, I'll intervene more. Completely missing the point that all you're doing is you're just trying to boil the ocean by throwing more sticks in. It's insane. You can't do it. The only people who will succeed are the ones who are setting out the honest answer. And by the time we get to the next election, which is, as I say, 3.5 years away, you will have a population which sadly has experienced some really difficult times because of the economic choices of this government, will have seen that the economic choices of other parties are basically the same, but more so, with a bit of constraints on migration, but not really, because actually they have no way of delivering it. And you'll see on the alternative, you'll see Kemi, who has been consistent about cultural issues. She's been consistent about tax issues. She's been consistent about welfare issues. And I think people will start to listen. So actually, I think Kemi will be the next Prime Minister.
Isn't that interesting? So turbulence, turmoil, then Tories rise.
And honesty. What Kemi's bringing is honesty. What the others are bringing is deceit.
There's